All right. Here we go again. Busy year. What up, chat? HDYT, how you doing? Kevin, how's it going? What do we got? We got June 25th. Doing a severe thunderstorm watch. Here's the watch. So basically this area right about here until midnight, and then this area over here is until 11 p.m. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's basically the same thing. How bad's it going to hit Lincoln? DD might ball? The potential is there for large hail damaging winds and an isolated tornado. Now, will that happen? It's already happening in some spots. We've had tornado warnings and confirmed tornadoes just south of Norfolk. Omaha had baseball-sized hail. Hi from Florida. How's it going, Easy Bake? So it's possible, but doesn't mean it'll hit directly on Lincoln. It could hit Grand Island, could hit York, could hit Columbus, just about anywhere. So that's part of the fun that is severe weather in Nebraska. You're just not sure where the really strong storm is going to hit. Is there a tornado warning in Norfolk? No, just south of Norfolk. So basically in and around Madison. Hi, Erica. Glad to hear that, Jolene. Yeah, Haley, if you live close to Norfolk, I'd be in a safe spot just in case. But if you live in like Plainview, O'Neill, you're probably okay. What I'm watching closely is this outflow boundary right here. This. See how it spreads out? This storm right there, basically if you like dump a pitcher of water onto the floor and it goes, spreads out like that, that's what this storm is doing with air. It's just spreading that wind out, and that wind will push up storms. It already did it right there with this storm right here. See how it just kind of formed that storm? It pushes that wind up and creates, what did I do? Shoot, hang on, I just did something. Oh my goodness. That, we didn't need to see the snowfall potential. Was looking forward to you streaming, been following the storm heavily on Twitter. Yeah, I figured, you know what, I might as well. I don't have anything to do now for until 10 o'clock. I mean, unless there's severe weather that pops up and I need to cut in for it. But should I be in a shelter in Norfolk? Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about that, Haley. If you're in Norfolk, I would, just to be safe. Because there's storms forming around it. It's not, I mean, there's this tornado warning near Madison, but there's more storms out there. So if there's a tornado warning right there in your county, I would do that. You're Jelly Bean, you're fine. Hey, you changed your name. I like it. But yeah, you're fine, Jillian. Let's see. I'm going to look for that information. That tornado warning just south of Norfolk, it's radar indicated, mainly over rural areas of southeastern Madison, northeastern Platte, and southwestern Stanton counties, like Highway 57 and the Highway 32 junction. Storms are staying super discreet. If there was a high tornado potential today, it would have been horrible. Yeah, absolutely. And discrete means they're just basically isolated all by themselves. It's not like a long line of storms. Discrete just means like there's one here, and one over here, and one over here. Does the storm south of Omaha have any tornado potential? Yeah, I think it does. I mean, when you have baseball-sized hail, there's a lot of lift. You get any kind of rotation, all of a sudden you get a tornado. So usually that very large hail goes hand in hand with tornado warnings. Haven't seen any spin yet. So that's what we're keeping a close eye on. Let's see. Is the radar showing an outflow boundary around Omaha? Yeah, we were just looking at that. You can see it right there. I mean, it's very pronounced, right? Right there. And it's pushing towards Lincoln. So it might pop a storm over if Lincoln doesn't have as much of a cap. We could see some storms. Does the storm south of Omaha, let's see, storms initiated around the outflow boundary is really cool. I agree. I had a fantasy football name called the Outflow Boundaries. That's how cool I like, or how much I like outflow boundaries, because they're just a lot of fun. No problem, Doug. Got some very severe storms over by Des Moines. Those aren't, I mean, look at them. It's not even moving. It's just sitting there. This is a radar loop over the last hour, and those storms just aren't moving. What's up, chat? Chat, is this real? I love weather, but man, I really hate weather. I know how you feel. I should be home hanging out with my family right now. Instead, well, I'm talking to my daughter right now. She's in the chat. It's all good. Yeah, that's what's cool about this is I'm meeting new people. Like I recognize a lot of these names in here now. So it's like keep doing it over and over again, and you start to meet the same people. Some of y'all are crazy. Cameron, hello. Glow shorts. Good to see you, glow shorts. My favorite icon. The glowing things. Yeah, one over Bellevue. Definitely just sitting there. Just keeps. And you notice by where the outflow boundary is at. Look at those storms just popping. All of these storms are because of that outflow boundary right there. That storm right there, outflow boundary, outflow, all of that. So this over here is going to run into that outflow boundary, and then who knows what's going to happen. It's certainly worth watching. Chances for Lincoln, just as good as anybody else. Large hail, damaging wind, tornado possibility. It's the same chance as York, as Milford, as Seward, as Columbus. Everybody has the same chance. Crazy bolt from the blue. Those are nuts. A bolt from the blue is when a bolt of lightning strikes 20 to 25 miles in front of a thunderstorm. So it's like it's blue sky, but then a lightning bolt comes crashing down. High Sker 2010. Late will Eagle get hit? Everybody has the same chance tonight. Everybody has the same chance of seeing storms. So Lincoln, Eagle, Aurora, York, Seward, Waverly, everybody has the same chance of seeing storms tonight. So that's why we're at a severe thunderstorm watch. So basically everybody within this watch area, from Cherry all the way down to Odo County, has the same chance. Can you look at Norfolk again? 1 second. There you go. Kind of in between things. Strong storm on Highway 81 to the north. The rotation's moving away from Norfolk, but tornado warning is not in the view area. I don't know what that means. But yeah, that's at, looks like some warnings just got let go at 7:15. I don't know where you live, Haley, so I can't tell you what to do, but if you are within the boundaries or close to, if you live near or within this area right here, then yes. If not, then keep a close eye on the warnings, and if a warning is issued, you should take shelter. So that's why they issue warnings. If a warning is issued, get to your shelter. But if you're not within these red lines, then you should be okay. But if you start hearing hail or gusty winds, go to your shelter just in case. These storms are going to cause some issues with the flooding already happening along the Missouri. It might. It depends on where the rain falls and how fast it falls. There's already a lot of water in those storms. There are a lot of water in the river. So it depends on how much more is added. It's pretty cool though, if you look at it. The storm is splitting right over Omaha. Part of it's going this way, part of it's going this way. And then it kind of moves south and east. Looks like it's weakening a little bit over Plattsmouth. What a crazy storm. This is also kind of nice because I don't have to interrupt any programming. Are these storms starting to move east or still moving southeast? It depends on which storms you're talking about. This stuff is all moving southeast, and these are just kind of doing their own thing. They're kind of moving east, but that outflow boundary is creating them to the west. Are these storms going to hit the Beatrice area? I always know there's going to be a Beatrice question. If they do, they should be weakening by the time they do get to Beatrice. Notice, if you look at the watch, Beatrice and Gage County is not in the Severe Thunderstorm Watch. So storms are still possible. It's just the severe threat is lower. Well, chat, new warning. Hang on. This is way to the north, though. It's for Cedar. Oh, yeah, over by Sioux City. So basically right there. Ooh. I wonder if I still have that crawl. If the Madison storm is moving southeast, will it weaken before hitting Omaha? There's no way for me to tell that right now. Just got in from mowing. Yikes, sorry to hear that, GBR. Hoping rain comes I'm hoping for rain too. I purposefully haven't watered for the last couple of days because I knew there was going to be a chance today and Thursday. Now, if we don't get the rain, then I'm just going to have to turn the sprinklers on. Looks like the storm is trying to avoid Lincoln. I don't think so. It's just doing its thing. I mean, if you look at these storms right here, they're reforming and headed right towards us. Let's see. My yard too, Atari. More storms up by Valentine. Yeah, those are coming out of South Dakota. One nasty one in particular right there. That's headed towards, that's probably what, Merriman? Tyler! Runza. Runza. I do like a good Runza. That's for sure. Appreciate it, Tyler. Really do. That's awesome. Hey, chat, W for Tyler. Jillian Bryce, W's. On average, how many people are watching at the National Weather Service during a weather event? It depends on the weather event, but if it's like all hands on deck, it could be up to 20. If it's just a normal night, then it's like 5 or 10. But it's been a while since I've been there, so I'm not sure anymore. That's just what I remember. Long night? I maybe. I already told Jessica to be ready to come in around 1 in the morning in case these storms are still going. But it'll depend. I'm going to show you guys something here real quick. Where is? Oh. Here's all the Cape. It's high, so When you start to see those purplish colors, that's on the reddish and purples. That's a high instability. So the potential is there for these storms right here to come down into this area where there's a lot of instability and get strong again. Just joining. How about Beatrice, please? Like I said earlier, the watch does not include Gage County. So by the time the storms get down there, they should have weakened. But it's still possible you could see some strong storms. Does Columbus have a good chance of missing that tornado warm storm to the north? Depends. So, I mean, it looks like it's moving southeast. So right now, Columbus just needs to keep a really close eye on it. That's what I would do if I lived in Columbus. Hang on, my daughter, monkey can't opt down. Why? Let's see. Let's see, just joining. Is there a map for, yeah, I can show you the cap. Right here. That's what this is. And there's not much. There's not much holding everything back. Let's see. Yeah, the cap's basically eroded away, so there you go. You should put big letters on the screen about Beatrice. I know, I have a lot of viewers in Beatrice. I've always loved Beatrice, a special place in my heart, and there's a lot of people that always ask a lot of questions about Beatrice, so I'm always waiting for it. I just know. Through Lincoln. I'm not sure what that means. Can you explain dew point to my wife versus relative humidity? Dew point is the temperature at which if the actual temperature was to drop to the dew point temperature, you would have 100% humidity. So it's basically a temperature, and it really gives you a better feel for the humidity that's out there. The higher the dew point and the higher the temperature, the more humid it is. So relative humidity is just that percentage. It doesn't really tell you anything. You can have, 50% humidity in December. Feels completely different than 50% humidity in June. Timing for Omaha next round. It's happening now, and then there's that other wave that's probably about 2 or 3 hours away. Yeah, high instability, no cap. Timing for Lincoln, I don't know. These things are just weird right now. Everything's just kind of all over the place. We could see a storm in Lincoln now or 2 in the morning. I mean, it's just so many possibilities. That outflow boundary's out there, that frontal boundary's out there to the north. Really, just be on alert because anything can happen over the next 6 to 8 hours. Oh, that warning now in northern Cherry County. And if you've never been to like Cherry County, see, that's going right across Highway 20. Beautiful. I mean, there's nothing out there, but if you've never been, it's astonishing. Because I grew up out there. That's kind of where I'm from. When do you think the storms will be past Norfolk? It's going to be a while. Notice all of these other storms are now popping up behind this line. So you're looking at wave after wave after wave of storms. Now, once the sun sets, some of this should go away. But right now, it'll be a few hours before before any of northeast Nebraska is out of the woods. Through Lincoln, i.e. back building storms. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly possible. This outflow boundary right here may spark storms in Lancaster County, Saline County, Seward County, maybe even Butler County. Something we're keeping an eye on. So this whole area right here is a big mess right now. It's just a mess. Show the velocity over the tornado warning in Madison. We can take a look. I know it was radar indicated. Whoops. Let me get it zoomed in there. Oh yeah, it's there. Obviously right there. Let's see. Do you think they will be severe storms? You're under a severe thunderstorm watch, so it's very possible that that the North Fork area could see. Haley, here's the deal. The potential is there for very strong storms, large hail, damaging wind, and isolated tornadoes for the next few hours. Keep a close eye on the radar. Keep a close eye on the National Weather Service. If they issue a warning for your area, make sure you're in a safe place. As long as you're prepared to go to a safe place as soon as a warning is issued for where you live, you'll be fine. That's all there is to it. You just have to know when to go and where to go to be safe, and you will be fine. Promise. Chat, is this real? Thank you, Jillian. Let's see. With all the hail threat will the hail threat diminish as it gets to the Lincoln area? Probably not. That hail threat is definitely out there. Let's see. Do you condone YouTubers that chase these storms? There's a guy right now in Humphrey on another channel, but I don't like to talk about him because it's not anything that I'm part of. I'm not part of their world. I have no idea what they're doing or who they are. So I'd rather not do that. Thank you for asking those. Some of the chasers have been at it for years. Yeah, again, there's good ones, there's bad ones. I don't know the difference between the good and the bad. So I just stay away. I had a really, really, really bad experience with a very famous one several years ago. It was like 10 years ago. But it really soured me for them. So I just stay away. Let's see. New thunderstorm warning for Cedar and Knox County. So north central. This whole area got really severe really fast. Again. So look at all of that. Just clusters. Yeah, usually by the time that outflow boundary gets that far out, it has usually weakened a little bit. But it's still there. It's still enough. It's like butterfly wings. You get one little draft motion and it shifts things just enough. So it does mess with things. These storms look like they're getting more organized now than earlier. It still looks like a big mess to me. They are getting, it looked more organized earlier along this, and now this is just a clustered mess. This is a clustered mess, just all over the place. You're moving to Gordon? That's where I'm from. Have fun in there, Angie. That's I worked at Pizza Hut for a while, Highway Express. It's all Gordon's a pretty cool little town, or at least when I was there. Where is the cold front? I have no idea. It doesn't make sense right now. Hang on, let me look. I can look at one thing. I don't know why this is up. Hang on, we're gonna look at something. Tornado warning for Platte. Hang on, I want to show you. Okay, here's the temperatures. Colfax, Platte, and Stanton. Colfax, Platte, and Stanton. Okay. There's not a huge cold front. That's the problem here. You've got this kind of cooler pool of air right here, and then everything is much warmer around it. So it's just, there's so much instability that any kind of movement is pushing things up. So if you're just joining, Severe thunderstorm watch for north central, northeast, and eastern Nebraska. Does basically from Lincoln to Valentine. Pizza Hut. Worked there as a youngin' in O'Neill. Very cool. I've been to that Pizza Hut. Wow, these storms are really initiating. They really are. They really are, Ilo. That 20 degrees cooler is because it's raining there. If it was raining in Lincoln, it's rain-cooled atmosphere. So we got a new tornado warning there. So if you live near Clarkson, Schuyler, I've been to Schuyler before. Made this trip between Fremont to Columbus many, many times back in the day. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, see, that's a pretty good couplet of rotation there. I'm gonna try something different. Okay. Yeah. And the wind speed is 75 miles per hour. So this area right there, that's 75 miles per hour. We'll do like right there. 65. 56. So yeah, those little two notches of blue, it's basically 75 mile per hour wind gusts. Let's see if I can get a little closer here. Hang on. See those two little blue spikes? That is 76 miles per hour. It's moving pretty quick, though. I mean, that's for a tornado-warned storm over the last hour to move that far, that's moving pretty fast. And usually when they start to move fast like that, they lose their rotation. Let's see. These storms are discrete. What prevented more widespread tornadoes? Probably a solid cold front. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what the entire atmosphere looks like. So this is something that we'd have to look at afterwards. That's usually how we figure out, what were we missing, what could have caused those larger tornadoes, when we did have those big tornadoes. That's going to be a project for somebody in college, like what caused those big tornadoes to hit on Arbor Day. Why didn't they hit between Lincoln? Why did it start in Lincoln and get really, really strong in Omaha? What caused all that? Texted my wife or my daughter. My wife says you're a good multitasker. If it's not important, I can multitask like crazy, but if it's important, I'm usually not very good at it. Okay, back to reality. Oop, there goes gravity. Oop, okay. So now this is really fascinating. I think what's happening is you've got the frontal boundary, because we were looking at that cold front, or that pool of cooler air. So you kind of had a frontal boundary right there, right? And then those storms initiated around it. And then those are throwing out their own outflow boundary. So all of a sudden you've got all of these behind the cold front because of the outflow boundary. These storms right here were out in front of that. You can kind of see, yeah. Any chances we get some moisture in Gage County? Possible. The severe threat is smaller in Gage County. Usually the chances for the risk getting changed to enhanced, when storms have already kicked in and there's a watch, then what's the difference? I mean, you already have a watch. So it doesn't really, I always say the watch supersedes the slide to enhance the Storm Prediction Center risks. If you got a watch, then I don't care about the risk anymore. It's already happening. You don't need to worry about it. Going to do a sunset lawn mow before the storms. Good call, Mr. Tech. Good call. Jillian, I don't know if you heard. It's literally, Jillian, what'd you say? Oh my God, it's literally 98. Oh, the temperature. Yeah, it's hot. It's hot. Did you see we got ice cream fund? Actually, it's runs of fun, but we can buy an ice cream cone. Really cool bubble clouds in Utan. Hopefully that's all they stay. Don't need to see severe weather. Oh shoot.
Did you hear that? Yeah.
What did I say? That's funny. I wonder if August will be hotter than this. God, I hope not. I hope not. I'm going to the store tomorrow to buy Oreo ice cream. Good call. I do like Oreo ice cream. Oreo ice cream. Chat, who likes Oreo ice cream? So, okay, chat, if you had your choice between chocolate, vanilla, Oreo, what's another good one? Mint chocolate chip. Which one would you do? Because I know my son would do mint chocolate chip. My daughter would do vanilla or chocolate, probably vanilla. Sherbet. Ooh, sherbet's good. Good call. Uh-oh, got another severe something coming on here. Hang on. Severe thunderstorm warning for... Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah, text my wife here real quick. Hang on. More rain near Sioux City. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Usually when flooding happens, the rain doesn't stop just because of the floods. It usually continues. 402 Creamery's Honey Crunch. Ooh, that sounds awesome. Mint chocolate chip. Karen, good call. I would not choose chocolate. Yeah, Jelly Bean. Reese's, good call, Corey. That's awesome. Cookies and cream. Yeah, we've got a tornado warning. One cell. One cell is tornadic. The rest of them are just big and with some hail. Still watching that outflow boundary. See that? Let's take a look. Let's take a spin, shall we? Hang on. It's dark. It's darker in Lincoln now. You can tell. There's the clouds are trying to do something. Let's look a different direction. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Look at that. Chat, check that one out. The Allocam this is as of 7:40 p.m. 7:40 p.m. That is a cool looking shot right there. Okay, we're gonna do Honda of Lincoln now. And let's look in southwest. Beatrice, I know a lot of people from cookie dough ice cream. Good call, keeper. Vanilla milkshake, good call. Nothing in Beatrice, just quiet. Aurora, quiet as well. Looking east on ABC Seamless. Southeast Community College. Okay, so I mean we've got some storms to look at here. Again, if you're just joining us, Severe Thunderstorm Watch, this area until 11 p.m. and then this area until midnight. That outflow boundary looks like it's kind of washing out a little bit. And if you're just tuning in, that outflow boundary, you see the center of Omaha pushed out that circle around it. That was an outflow boundary right there. And it's moving through the Lincoln area right now, but it hasn't popped any storms yet further away from Omaha. Have you seen an outflow boundary like the one coming from the Omaha storms before? Yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time. Love them. Outflow boundary is one of my favorite things, one of my favorite weather phenomenon. Also, one that really ticks me off sometimes because you could have a nice quiet night, and if nothing disturbed anything, you wouldn't have very many storms, and I'd be able to go home early. And then one storm forms and kicks out outflow boundaries, and it's like dominoes. And there's another one, and another storm, and another storm, and another storm, and all of a sudden you have, well, kind of like what you have tonight. Is that outflow boundary going to weaken this storm in Colfax County? I doubt it. That's not really what outflow boundaries do. It might shift the storm. It might add to the lift and create more storms. But I don't think it'll weaken it. Now, sometimes what happens is you get two storms that kind of run into each other. Like, what's this storm by Columbus? What's this storm going to do when it runs into maybe one of these storms over here, if that's the way it goes? Then things get a little weird. Sometimes they just cancel each other out. Sometimes one enhances the other. Sometimes they just merge. Never know. Yeah, that happens a lot, HD. You'll see storms, like I just said, they'll merge, they'll run into each other, one gets stronger. Sometimes they just kind of bounce off of each other. It's weird. Dark clouds in Waverly. Thanks, Jatete. Let's see. Missed the ice cream talk, but mint chocolate chip, cool. Butter pecan, that was my mom's favorite. Chocolate and peanut butter top there, nice. Good list there, Lethal. Probably good call, John. You know, that reminds me, I should probably check Twitter. Two messages, had a feeling. Sorry, just getting caught up on Twitter. I mean, this is a cluster. This is, I mean, very isolated storms. I mean, they're not turning into a line, which is disappointing because usually when they turn into a line, that's when they all get together and move out more quickly. But I mean, look, you've got another one forming there. You got that one that formed. You got that one that just formed out of nowhere. So, Okay. Oops. You even have, oh, sorry. This frontal boundary right there. Little outflow. Fascinating storms. This is weird. Cameron, yeah, those ones by Des Moines, they're stationary. Let's see. Can any cumulus cloud turn into a thunderstorm with the right conditions? With the right conditions, yes. First day living back in Lincoln and storms are headed in. If you move back to Lincoln in June, there's a decent chance you're going to see a storm at least sometime soon. That's for sure. Coconut ice cream topped with Bailey's and whipped cream. If it was just vanilla, you'd have me at that. The coconut, can't do coconut. Just not my thing. That's all. Good call with the Bailey's, though. Kind of want to see something here. There's not much out here. Right between Merriman and Cody. That's pretty cool. There's another severe thunderstorm warning popping up here. Severe thunderstorm warning for Platte County. For quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. It's moving southeast, southeast at 15 miles per hour for central Platte County. It's, let's see, 5 miles south of Lindsay or 17 miles east of Albion. My daughter wants, okay, so let's see. A lot of people saying that it's going to be a cold winter. Who's they? Who's they? Who's a lot of people? Who are the ones saying this? Marno, we're under Lincoln's in a severe thunderstorm watch, so everybody in that severe thunderstorm watch has the same chance for strong storms, large hail, damaging wind, and an isolated tornado. So basically, from Lincoln to Valentine, this whole area right here, anybody in this area has a chance at seeing severe weather. That tornado warned storm looks like it's moving towards Lincoln. Kinda, yeah. Got a long ways to go, though. There's so many things in the way. That outflow boundary's in the way. That could nudge it one way or another. It could do whatever weird things. So that's why we watch them, because just because it's one way now, it's got to go through a whole lot of atmosphere before it gets to us. Let's see. Did you try the Dorothy Lynch carrot cake ice cream at Iphonacone? I did not. But I'd be happy to try it. Small chance, but as the night goes on, will the storm threat weaken at all, or will we continue to see severe weather all night long? The severe thunderstorm watch goes until midnight, so the threat goes through at least midnight. I would assume that the storms would weaken after midnight, but there's still a chance some of them could hang on a little bit longer. So if another watch is issued, then we know that the storms are likely going to keep going. And that's something we'll know, because I can't tell right now. There's too many things happening. Too many things could change between now and before the watch issues, the watch is over, which is at midnight. But by about 11 o'clock, 11:30, we'll know if the atmosphere is just right for things to continue. So it's just something we have to watch. Good question, though. It's way too early to talk winter. Wait until October. 100%. And you know what? I was just talking to some coworkers, and we astounded our boss, who's not from here, so she doesn't get Nebraska weather yet. She will. When we told her we would much rather have this weather now, the hot and the humid, than the below zero wind chills and the brutally cold temperatures in January. Now, I know everybody's different, but she thought we were nuts. But that's just how I am. Very dark east of Norfolk. Yep, there's a lot of, there's a pretty good storm east of Norfolk. It's moving slowly to the east. Start a channel for ice cream reviews? I keep staring off at the Des Moines storm. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. There's a lot going on out there tonight. My daughter wanted to ask, hey chat, what's your favorite pizza? Since we were talking about ice cream, we could talk about pizza. 'Cause we have our favorite spots in Lincoln, but always looking for a good new spot. So if you got a recommendation, chat, throw it in there. Let me know. I will say there's a place in Rushville, in Sheridan County in the Panhandle. If you know, you know. It's an awesome place to eat pizza. Twisted Turtle. Highly recommend. A friend of mine from high school opened that place up, and they do a really good job. Really good job. Yep, I ate at Vic's not too long ago. My wife and I went there for a date night 2 weeks ago. Good stuff. Thai pizza at the Lighthouse. Okay, hardly ever go to Omaha. Just don't, unless we're going to the airport, don't really have a reason. Casey's is always good. Always love Valentino's, Domino's. Ramo's is probably a top 2 for us, maybe even our favorite. Golden Goat. Never heard of that one. Flash flood warning. Yeah, I mean, any rain in an area that's already dealing with flooding is never a good thing, but it does depend on where that heaviest rain falls as to will it influence and create more problems for the flooded area, so we'll see. Yeah, Mike Tilson, it's 50-50. You're not a minority. It is 50-50. Whenever I put out a poll, like, do you prefer really, really hot or really, really cold? 50-50, every time. Walnut and blue cheese pizza, Yaya's. Ooh, I do like Yaya's. There's a Yaya's over by where we live. And Momo's too. Momo's is really good. Yeah, Twisted Turtle. Good stuff, right? Right, Angie? Hub Cafe is really good in Lincoln. Okay, cool. Walnut and blue cheese pizza. I'm going to have to try that one. Well, the good news is there's no more tornado warnings out there. That cluster, I mean, they keep forming over and over again. Oh, okay. Thanks, Lethal. Good to know. I'll keep an eye out for them. With the instability in the air, do you think these storms will be strong to severe in Lincoln? Levi? There's a severe thunderstorm watch, does include Lincoln, so yeah, it's possible. Storms that do move through the Lincoln area have the potential for being severe. Common for people to get headaches. Yeah, that's because it's low pressure and high pressure, and that's why older people, and I'm one of them, if there's storms brewing or there's high pressure in place, their joints hurt because there's more pressure or less pressure, and it can absolutely affect your head as well. Spike's buffalo chicken pizza. Ooh, I do love buffalo chicken pizza. I do like lasagna too. Now I'm hungry. Guys, this was my daughter's idea, and now I'm hungry. And I just ate. Old Jillian. Yeah, I completely agree, Mike. This is a fascinating storm system out there. I ate at California Pizza Kitchen when I was in Hollywood. Huh, that'd be cool. You should show us the instability models and the tornado parameter. I should? I could show you the instability. We looked at that a little while ago. Here's your cape. I mean, it's unstable. That's all there is to it. There's a lot of instability out there. And I don't think I have the tornado parameter fired up. Let me see. Yeah, that's in a different show. I don't have that graphic. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I'm going to try something here, chat. Hang on. This is a model. Hang on, we got to get to the right spot. I mean, it's not very high. Today's Tuesday, right? You're looking at anything from 0 to 1. That's basically it. So, I mean, right there is a little high between Columbus and Lincoln around 11 to midnight tonight. But that, I mean, you're nowhere near the 4, 5, 6, or 7 that you would need something significant. So there's your tornado parameter outlook. It's not great, but it's not 0, but significant tornado. That's what we're looking at. Do you think there's going to be more tornado warnings? It's always possible. Since we've seen some already, and these are still just clusters and not a line, it's certainly possible. Tabor, the way they morph and change, yeah, it's pretty cool. So the insignificant parameter, that's kinda right. It's kind of interesting to watch too, because like this storm formed and then split and has 2 separate warnings with it. Look at that, near Magnet, which I don't even know if that's real. But look at that storm. Watch this. Look at that. Hang on, it started, it turned into a big bad storm near Bloomfield. Now watch it split. How about that? 2 separate warnings. That is crazy. Huh. It looks like they're all splitting. I mean, look at this one right here. That one's splitting too. It was kind of 2 to begin with, I guess. This one by Clarkson. This one was tornadic for a little bit. There's a new warning just northwest of Columbus. If you live in Columbus, keep an eye on that. That's a new warning. Will Lincoln get hit? It's the chances there. I know a lot of people have been asking that, and that's, you join later than when people join in at different times. They have the same question. There's the Severe Thunderstorm Watch, and anybody that has their county colored yellow has the same chance as everybody else at seeing storms. And these storms have been very random. There isn't a line of storms to point out. It's all clusters of storms. So these storms, some of them, and this is kind of what I was talking about, some of them, like this one, wait, hang on, like this one right here, see how it's been hanging on the whole time. Same with this one, just formed, and it's hanging on. But look at this one. It formed, and now it's done. Where's another one? Here's another one starting to form. Look at this, though. This was a storm, and then it just died. So there's no rhyme or reason between if a storm continues to stay strong or if it dies out. Until midnight. When I watched you, the news 6 p.m., you said the storms will hit at 1 a.m. And that still looks to be about right, around midnight to 1 a.m. But these storms aren't acting like that model had. So we'll see. I mean, models aren't always right. In fact, they're never right. They're never exactly right. That's part of the problem with our profession. It doesn't matter if it's cooled off quite a bit in Omaha. Not now. The storms have already formed. It might hinder when those clusters of storms around Norfolk and Columbus make their way in Omaha. It might quiet them down a little bit. Didn't know. Fort Player. Yeah, oh, that's all right. That's why I'm here. Good learning experience. Got kind of dark here in Lincoln. I know, we were looking at that earlier. Let me see what it looks like now. I mean, there's storms all around. Just it's not storming in Lincoln. As quiet as some of the last few years were, this active year seems to be evening up the average again. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I was hoping for one more quiet year. I really wanted this year to be quiet, and it has been the exact opposite of quiet. Plan on being a meteorologist when I grow up. Hope you have thick skin, or work for the National Weather Service or a private company, because if you're on television, people love to yell at you. It's just, some people are just awful. Got a bit of lightning looking northeast here. No thunder, though. Okay. Let me get back to the radar. So as of 8 p.m., hey, Kevin. I've noticed too, I'm seeing people that are in the chat and they're like 30 minutes behind. It's kind of funny. I don't know how to answer those questions because they're not going to hear my answer until like 30 minutes later. Appreciate that, Steve. Vasta, I wish. If I could read Mother Nature's mind, I'd be a rich individual. Appreciate that, Levi. So I'm just kind of catching up here. It's cloudy by my house right now. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm posting something to Twitter here real quick. It's 8 o'clock, so I like to do updates every now and then. So, I guess I could do this. I moved back from Oklahoma and it was extremely stormy there in April, May, June. Tornado in early May missed my house by 2 miles. That's always scary. Storms just aren't moving. That's true, Marno. They're slow going. Yeah. Valentine came out of nowhere. Twitter's such a, yeah, I know. Severe thunderstorm warning for Platte County just issued. Shelf cloud. Are you in Lincoln, Fortnite? Sitting at South Point Mall right now, just clouds and locusts. Yeah, those things just started up, didn't they? I know Twitter is kind of a joke, but God, I've worked so hard on curating an audience over the last 15 years that I can't just abandon it altogether, even though I would really like to. But I have too many friends, too many family members, too many viewers, I'd feel awful if I just up and stopped, even though I really kind of want to. We'll see. Let's see, Antelope and Knox, 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter size hail. So that's good. Let's see. Glad you appreciate that, Steve. I wish Threads was more. I wish more people. I guess I wish more people were there. But it might get there. Yeah, the spicy nugs. I agree. Yeah, it might get there, Steve. I hope so. Chunky cell headed for Omaha. Well, there's a lot of them. But yeah, it's all, they're all kind of wandering around. All of these cells are just kind of wandering around. Kind of hoping that as soon as the sun goes down, that maybe they lose a little oomph. I mean, even this one, headed towards Columbus, is weakening quickly. This one seems to be hanging on a lot. This one's gaining a little strength. See, notice how this one's moving south, but these are kind of moving east early a little bit. Mike, appreciate that. Yeah, I won't call it X. That's dumb. Nobody knows what you're talking about. Hey, I'm on X. You mean the drug? Doesn't make sense. What would it take for you to refer to a storm cell as a big chungus? Is that slang for something? When will it hit Missouri? This part of the storm probably won't. Missouri kind of has their own storms going on right now. That's kind of crazy. Look at that. What is this storm doing? Wow, that's weird. Huh. Anyway. Is the storm moving south? It's kind of... The storms are moving southeast for the most part, on average. You can kind of, they're, for the most part, kind of going like this. But some of them are going like this, and some of them are going like this. So they're just all over the place. The way the storms have been tonight, it almost wouldn't surprise me to see one move west. I know, 100%. Yeah, no tornado warnings right now. That's awesome. Will this affect the flooding on the Missouri River at all? I am assuming in some way, shape, or form, yes, but I don't know how much, because I don't know where the heavier rain will fall, or if that rain will actually make its way into the river or soak into the ground. So it just depends on where the rain falls. Does your software allow you to see globally? Like if you wanted to check weather in North Korea, could you? Probably not, no. Do I think there will be a high tornado chance in Lincoln? The same chance as everybody else. It's not higher or lower than anybody else, and it's not high for anybody. So it's just, there's been tornado warnings, but it's not higher than anybody else. Wonder if Omaha has any flooding. Seems like it's been storming there for 2 hours. I can look real quick. Mainly hail. Oh, hang on. Let's see. Sorry, I have to root around through a bunch of storm reports. A lot of hail, wind. Flash flood warning for Douglas and Sarpy. So that's in effect until 9:45. 1.5 to 3 inches of rain have fallen. Flooding impacts will continue, but no additional rainfall is expected. So, yeah, there's places like southern Omaha, Bellevue, Papillion, Ralston, Offutt Air Force Base, La Vista, and South Omaha dealing with some flooding. Douglas, Sarpy. Yeah, that was as of about 20 minutes ago. So, yeah, there's definitely some impacts being felt through that. That's for sure. Let's see. What are these storms mostly going to produce? Just wind and hail? And there's a small tornado threat. Will the severe thunderstorm watch get extended? It seems like it ends kind of early. It depends. If these storms can hang on and make their way into southeast Nebraska where there is no watch, they can be expanded. In fact, it was just expanded into Knox and Cedar County. There wasn't a severe thunderstorm watch for those two counties, and it was expanded to the north. Did that affect Lincoln's groundwater? I don't know. I don't know. National Weather Service mentions they may have to extend the watch. Well, there you go. Any idea on what time Lincoln will get hit? Yeah, a couple hours from now, probably. Probably closer to midnight. It depends if those two cells can hang on. And really, it was when that outflow boundary pushed through. It was from now until about 3 in the morning. At any time, we could see storms. And that's still kind of the case, where there's the potential for storms at any time, but the main threat, which is to the north now, doesn't get into the Lincoln area until later. Go try that out, Vasta. Let me know how it works out. Is that bigger cell near Columbus? Just shift more. They're all moving south and southeast. I mean, that's kind of what they're doing. Let's see. And for some reason, it's slowly but surely been getting warmer in the studio. It was at 71 when I got to work in my work area, and now it's 76.5. Is this along a cold front? I've noticed nobody uses punctuation anymore. Oh yeah, there's some. Kind of. Not a very pronounced one. That's why there's clusters of storms instead of a line. Usually when you have a cold front, a pronounced cold front, storms form along that line and create a line of storms. This isn't the case. Spicy nugs. Missouri River just getting more and more rain. When it rains, it pours. Hey, watch that storm. Isn't that, it just disappears. That storm just disappears, and then this one's been hanging on the whole time. This one too. And you know what? So if someone asks if it's going south or north or west or east, they're going all over the place. I mean, look at this one. This one's been going southeast the whole time. Then this one right here is moving kind of due east. These are moving kind of east and southeast, and they're running into each other. These over here kind of moving northeast. This one's moving northeast, while this one's moving southeast. This one's got a northeasterly component to it. This one's headed due south. There's no rhyme or reason, kids. Chat, are you seeing, is this real, chat? Is this real? I mean, it's so weird. Doesn't make any sense. Thanks, Hilo, for telling Kevin that. I'm pretty sure he's way behind. Oh. So if I use a period, if I use an exclamation point with my kids, it's severe thunderstorm warning for Colfax, Dodge, Butler, and Saunders. Run-of-the-mill thunderstorm, 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Goes until 9 p.m. Let's see. So you're saying it's a boundary? Sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is. So the one that has been hanging on doesn't look very tornado-y anymore, for the most part. Almost reminds me of popcorn storms I saw in Florida. Absolutely, Steve. Good call. Mother Nature is drunk today. I have a weather radio at my house. Should I turn it on for alerts later? Never hurts to have multiple ways to be alerted of severe weather. I kind of want to look. Let's look outside, shall we? So that's looking east from southwest Lincoln. That's looking southwest, not much going on there. Beatrice, not much going on there. Aloe. Ooh, that's cool. Look at that, chat. Holy smokes. That's good stuff. What about Butler County? Storms are possible there, for sure. So I live in Wahoo. Love Wahoo, by the way. After these storms come through, should that take the energy out of the atmosphere, or should we expect another round? The way these storms have been building and then rebuilding, very possible that just because one storm rolls through, doesn't mean you won't see any more. Definitely a possibility. I mean, look at all of these. They're all over the place, and they're in places that have already seen storms. Did that supercell by Columbus strengthen when it interacted with that outflow boundary? Couldn't tell. Doesn't look like it phased it at all. Aloe always has the cooler pictures. Yes, it does. It's because it's pointed in the right direction. It just is. Oh, goodness. I'm tired, chat. It's been a long spring. I need a break. But I haven't seen a tornado warning in a while, so that's good. But this one storm is really hanging on. This is probably the only one that's going to survive for now. I mean, you look at this one, it's almost gone. These over here are weakening. This one's pretty strong. That one's getting some large hail just north of Norfolk, headed east of Norfolk. But this one's just been chugging away. It's been staying the same intensity for quite some time. That'll probably make its way across Interstate 80 between Lincoln and Omaha. Oh, I wasn't looking at chat. You'll probably get one in July. Oh, a break? I hope so. Knock on wood. I always knock on wood, whether I need to or not. I haven't seen your worry warts in the chats tonight. Oh, there's a couple out there. But I mean, some of them have a post-traumatic stress disorder from having been clobbered by storms in the past. So I get it. Steve, yes, that's exactly right. Well, Erica, just it's not tornadic. Might have some hail. Stay away from windows. You'd be good. It'll be all good. Hang on a sec. I got to get caught up here. Until 8:50. What time? I don't even know what time it is. 8:20. Okay, that's done. 8:15, 8:15, 8:45, 8:30. There's 8, 7:45, and 7:50. I mean, earlier, do you guys remember earlier in this storm, we were getting huge hail reports, like baseball-size hail. I have not seen that. So these storms have weakened. Because right now, I'm looking at the severe thunderstorm warnings we have in place right now. Like Platte County, it's for quarter-size hail. Please. This one for Antelope and Knox, quarter-size hail. So the storms themselves have weakened from what they were earlier. Because Erica, if you tried to go outside and play in the hail with baseball-sized hail, you'd lose. So the storms have weakened to some extent, but they're still out there. Much to look at, though. I mean, these are really cool. I wonder if this one will eventually get, I mean, it looks like it's growing a little bit there in southwest Holt and Rock County as it moves directly south and kind of away from all of these. We'll see what that does. What is expected in north central? You're probably looking at these storms rolling through. So this has more of a wind threat. Like that storm southwest of Valentine, that's got 60 mile per hour wind gusts and $half size hail. Southwest Cherry County has 60 mile per hour wind gusts and golf ball size hail. And that one in South Dakota has 60 mile per hour wind gusts and $half size hail. So Brown County, yeah, I would say some strong winds and probably some quarter to like 1 inch to 1 inch and inch and a half diameter hail in the next hour or two.
Any updates for the town? Any switches or?
Just keep things the same.
Sounds good.
Sweet, thanks.
At the top of the show, we're gonna just show some hail. I guess there was some hail up north, and then lots of was that and something else.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool, thank you. Funnel? Okay, thank you. That was funny. Chat, did you guys hear that? That was one of my producers. Not from around here. But she's learning. So the Severe Thunderstorm Watch was expanded to include Grant and Hooker County. So that storm that's coming out of Cherry County. That makes sense. A couple of counties added to the watch. I can't, that one storm got behind, oh, there we go. Yeah, even this storm's trying to weaken a little bit as it moves towards Fremont and Wahoo. You know what, chat, I am 100% okay with these storms weakening and me going back to worrying about weather on TV. But we'll see what happens. Always driving through Cherry County to go back to see family. I've always wondered how empty that county actually is. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it. It's a big county. There's a lot out there. A lot of cows. a lot of farmland. But even then, I mean, it's sandhills, so there's not a lot of farmland. I mean, it's a lot of sandhills. Do I miss hockey? No. I do like hockey, but it caused me to stay here until almost midnight last night because of the celebration after the championship. So I am in a fantasy hockey league. Have been for, probably 15 years. Family reunion in Rushville. I know a lot of people in Rushville. Yeah, Fremont storm's trying to weaken. So if you're headed to Rushville, you're going to Twisted Turtle, right? Call ahead. Boy, they're always busy, especially this time of year. Always call ahead. Yeah, that one headed towards Fremont is weakening, but it's still severe. I mean, it's still packing a punch. But a lot of these storms are trying to weaken a little bit. It's like a pinwheel. They're just going blah. Goodness, what a crazy. This is weird. I don't remember the last time I saw this many separate clusters of storms that weren't attached to each other. What time is it going to rain in Lincoln? We're probably looking, it's still a good, I think it's a couple hours away. Probably after 10:30. I mean, that one crossing Highway 30, I mean, we might not even see any rain. If this initial cluster doesn't get to Lincoln, then we have to wait for that stuff out in Cherry County. Then it would be overnight. So, I mean, you're probably wondering, it's like, well, why don't you know? Isn't this what you do? Why don't you know? This isn't normal. This isn't what I usually see. Usually there's a cold front that I can time out and at least figure out how fast it's moving, where it's going, what it's running into, what the atmospheric conditions are upstream, downstream, left and right. This is different. This is, you look at those storms, pick out one storm, figure out which way it's going, and then look at the storm next to it. It's going a completely different way. This is strange. Storms again tomorrow for western Nebraska, like McCook and areas west. Eastern Nebraska, no. I think tomorrow is actually a pretty nice day for central and eastern Nebraska. Storm chances increase again on Thursday, though. Let's see, storms again tomorrow. It looked like it was bad overnight for Lincoln. That's still a possibility. It really is. We could still see some strong storms overnight. Outflow from Omaha storm causing anything weird? Saw a tweet. Kinda. Nothing now, though. That's basically washed out. But it did create more storms in and around the Omaha area. Are we getting a humidity drop with this front? Yes. It's always funny. You can always tell when somebody reaches out to you on social media and they're kind of nasty. And I can always tell where they're coming from. Like, yeah, I knew you'd be that kind of person. Let's see. All right, just catching up on a couple of different things there. Let's see. I feel bad for meteorologists. People act like they create the weather. I know. Thanks, Tabor. I appreciate that. Ask the storms to leave. I'm now very wet and it's still storming. So there's that. Thank you for trying, Vasta. I appreciate that. When the storms first formed over the Omaha metro, they were going southeast. Now they're almost due east. Yeah, isn't that weird how that happens? And it's usually because shifts in like the jet stream, the low-level jet, that starts to kick in or starts actually moving things around. Other outflow boundaries can kind of move things around. Do you use the HRRR model? Yeah, all the time, Levi. It's one of my go-to ones for short-term models. I especially like to use them for snowfall events. They're usually pretty good for snow. You have the patience of a saint with social media. I would have been fired. You know how I do it, Cameron? This is something I adopted when I first started getting into social media 10, 15 years ago. And this is when I was over at the other TV station. I assume the other person reaching out might have something wrong. Like there might be a problem. Like they might maybe mentally challenged, maybe just went through a divorce, maybe just had somebody die in their family, maybe just not having a great day. You don't know. You just don't know what the other person is going through. And unless they keep doing it. If they keep doing it, then they're getting blocked right away. And it's easier nowadays. You can kind of tell, if someone's mean or just being a jerk. You can go to their social page and see what else they say. And if they're not nice, I block them immediately. I mean, I have zero tolerance for that. Looks like some of the clusters of storms have weakened a little bit. Yep, a lot of them have. A lot. And then some of them have gained strength. It's kind of weird. I mean, it's like one storm gains strength and the other one fizzles out. That one that was headed towards Columbus, so really fizzled. Look at that. Didn't even make it to Columbus. This one headed towards Fremont, Wahoo, weakening. What's that one for? Oh, I knew it. That one in Holt County went severe. I knew it would. All by itself over there in Rock Loop, Garfield, and Holt County. $50 size hail with that. And 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So now, look at these thunderstorm warnings. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 6, 7. Cameron, I couldn't have said it better myself. Very confused. They're just all over the place. They're supposed to be moving east. Like all of this right here, because here's the watch. See that? There's your watch. But there's nothing, when this happens, there's no steering mechanism. There's no cold front. There might be a low-level jet, but just enough to kind of drag storms up. So there's nothing to steer them. There's no parental unit guiding them in a direction that they should be going. Well, boat without sails, absolutely, Cameron. And Levi, yeah, you're right. I mean, they're forming, but unless they move into a different area with more fuel, they kind of sit there and then just kind of fizzle out. They like overuse the atmosphere they're in, and they don't move into new atmosphere, and they die. Let's see, Neely, also one of my favorite towns. I've always liked Neely. I mean, you're probably going to have, boy, it'll be close, but these storms right here are likely your issue in Neely. And really everybody's issue. These actually have direction and purpose. They're all just kind of moving this way. So they're eventually going to hold together. Or it has the best chance of holding together. So there's Neely. I mean, it's missing that one to the north. Look at that one headed towards Jefferson. What a weird storm. Look at that. It just kind of whoop. It was headed east, and then it just got pushed into Jefferson. What a weird thing. There's really a place called Winter. Oh, yeah. That's where did you see that? Was that up north? I think that's... I don't know where Winter is. Oh, yeah, there it is, in South Dakota. Yeah, I've been through there a few times. It's reservation, Native American reservation, yeah. Red Cloud? No, I can't remember now. But anyway, Neely, back to Neely over here. And Ewing. See, the reason I remember Neely so much is I drove from Fremont to Shattered so many times, and I just remember those towns along 275 till you get to Highway 20. Yeah, Western, because it's not in Western Nebraska. You know, where are you? Hey, where are you from? Western Nebraska. Oh yeah, what town? Western. Always felt bad for those people from Western. Are the ones in South Dakota right now going to be tornadic or solely severe thunderstorms? Any storm has a chance of being tornadic. Right now, they don't look like they will be. Usually, it's those isolated cells like all of these that we're looking at right now have the better chance, and it's usually when they first form. So storms that are already formed and mature, unless there's already a tornado attached to them, you're not going to see it. Antelope and Knox, 60 mile per hour wind and quarter-size hail. This is crazy. Look at this one. See? This one's headed north. This one is headed northeast at 20 miles per hour. What is happening? This is so crazy. If you can figure out which way these storms are going, you're a better meteorologist than I am, because except for this one that's rolling through Valentine, you can tell which way that one's going. And this one by O'Neill that's headed due south. The rest of these are just willy-nilly. Willy-nilly. But on the plus side, it looks like they're weakening. Ooh, the Meadow Grove? I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see, what town are you talking about, Kevin? If you're caught up on the chat, let me know. Now that you've mentioned outflow boundaries, I cannot not notice them. I know, once you know, you know. The April 26th tornado outbreak, watching you on TV and cover that was so, oh, well, thank you. I did hear that made it in Australia. How weird is it? I've been on TV in Australia, but I've never been to Australia. I had a chance. Here's how good of a husband I am. And I don't know if my wife is watching or not, but she knows probably knows the story I'm about to tell. Hershey, Nebraska, up north. Yeah, but which... Oh, never heard of Hershey. Gotcha. Australia. Now, when I was working at the other TV station across town, they would give these trips, which you've probably seen them on their commercials. And I've done one or two of them. And they asked if I wanted to go on one. And they had two big ones that they offered me and my wife. We could either go to Australia for like 15 days. It's incredible. Or Paris. And I really wanted to go to Australia, but I knew my wife would kill me if I didn't choose Paris, because she'd always wanted to go to France and she'd never been, and here was our opportunity. So I didn't even hesitate. I said Paris, no doubt. And we went to Paris. It was fun too, a lot of fun. And I'm really glad we chose it. Still want to see Australia someday. Severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Wayne County. Quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So these are just continuing. Yeah, Paris was really cool. It was a good time, and we've been a few more times since. And Paris is great, but France, we took one of our trips and just meandered around the rest of France. We went to the just smaller towns and some of the medium-sized cities. And it's such a cool country, just neat. Yeah, Australia has crazy big spiders. That's probably another reason she would have been really mad at me if I would have said, let's go to Australia. Versailles, yeah, it's cool. It is really cool. We the last time we were there, we did a trip further south, like Le Mans, did that. Périgueux, which nobody has ever heard of, but it's about 3 hours due south of Paris. Beaune, really cool city, lots of vineyards. Just stayed in some chateaus. Just a really neat trip. Pretty dark in Fremont. Yeah, I think that storm is trying to move into Fremont, but it's weakening. And Fremont's one of my cities too that I like, because I lived there. I lived there for 4 years. Used to go to the Corner Bar all the time. Not sure if it's even still there anymore. I mean, this was back in my single days, so I didn't have anything else to do on the weekends. Do you have bigger goals in meteorology or just stay local news? I'm good. This job right here is kind of the one I wanted. So I'm good. I like it here. High-low, yep, definitely an interesting storm system. The slim gaming, it just depends on where you're at. But no, we still have this over here in Valentine. This is all going to eventually roll through if it can stay together. So not quite done yet. Fremont area. No, there's still more chances. Slim gaming. How many places have I lived? A lot. A lot. I really have. Aside from the longer days than you'd like, seems like you have a lot of fun doing this. I do. Yeah, if it wasn't for the severe weather has been hard this year. It's really sucked a lot of the fun out of it. But yeah, it's a good job. Appreciate that, Mike. Yeah, 10, 11 days. I still love those guys over there. We're competition, but weather's weather. And I learned a lot from Ken from my days over there. I was like 10, 11 for 10 years. So, and Ken's a great guy. Brad's also a great guy. Brandon, all those guys over there are top notch. But please watch Channel 8. Yeah, if anything, this storm right here might clip Lincoln, because it looks like it's starting to line up a little bit. See how it's kind of a line right there? It could expand a little bit and move towards the Lincoln area. So that's something I'm watching a little closely. Random thought, but have you karaoke's with Rod Fowler? I'm not a huge karaoke fan, so no, I haven't seen him. What heat from Omaha streets fueling their storms? I'm not I don't understand. Is the heat from the streets fueling the storms? You're probably talking about urban heat island effect. Maybe a little. Sure, that happens. Gives it a little extra oomph. It's very possible. Elkhorn ETA. This storm doesn't look like it's going to remain severe, but in the next hour, probably rolling through the Elkhorn, Omaha area. I remember they used to, up at the old Roadhouse, Rosie's. Yeah, I wasn't around for that. Yeah, no, Kevin, not sure. I don't know what's causing it. I think there's just not enough, an actual cold front or a low-level jet to push things in one direction. They just kind of popped up all over the place and then just went willy-nilly. And they were on the moving around on the heels of outflow boundaries is what I'm guessing right now. Not 100% sure. Hang on, I'll be right back. You're welcome, CR. Yeah, it looks like most of the really strong storms are moving into Iowa. So I think what we're looking at here are these clusters here are all basically going to slide southeast, like kind of in this direction, like this. This one all by itself, and then these over here will move like that. So, what does that mean? I think that means these will move like this, and these will move like this. So we're starting to see some direction now. Even though the isolated storms themselves are moving in weird directions, the bulk of the storms themselves are kind of sliding south and east. Maybe weak upper level winds are the reason for the erratic storm. Yeah, there isn't a low level jet in place to push them in a direction. That's exactly what I was saying. Storms look like they're going to miss Lincoln, but the storms are making me dizzy. Yeah, me too. But I think they're starting to gain a little direction now. Low-hanging clouds in Fremont. Yeah, you probably have a shelf cloud starting to move in. Wouldn't surprise me. You get that. See how it's spreading out a little bit? It's like longer now. You're likely going to see a shelf cloud of some sort probably pushing through the Fremont area, headed towards Omaha, Missouri Valley. Probably won't be severe. I mean, it could be, but right now it doesn't look like it. Maybe some wind. Wife just sent me a text. The flooding from the Minnesota River has shut down 3 rides at Valley Fair in Shakopee. If anybody's familiar with that, it's the southwest part of Minneapolis. They got Valley Fair there. That's incredible. New severe thunderstorm warning. Oh yeah, it did. We were just talking about it, weren't we, chat? So now you got a severe thunderstorm warning for Fremont, Waterloo, Valley. That's where the National Weather Service is at, by the way. Headed towards Gretna and Omaha. I think when you did that, yet news tonight, the storms in the back is the ones that's going to hit Lincoln by midnight. Things have changed. That model that I showed you during the 6 o'clock news is now 3 hours old, and it's a short range model. So if we were to look at the different ones now, it's, who knows? I mean, we can try to look at that. Let me see. Okay, a little behind the scenes here, friends. Okay, so, I mean, this is kind of what we were looking at. It's now 9 o'clock. It's now 9 o'clock. And that, I mean, that kind of makes sense because the storms are like right there now, right? That's kind of what it looks like right now, right? So if this keeps doing what it's doing, by 11 o'clock it would roll through the Omaha-Lincoln area. That makes sense. I could see that happening. Then it moves by midnight, and by 1 a.m. it's out of here. That, I'm cool with that. But see, they have the storms in the Valentine area, and it has those weakening. So there you go. Yeah, Mike, you should have seen me back here from like 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. There was like 4 or 5 models I was looking at, and none of them said the same thing. Not one. They were all different timing. One of them had the storms through Lincoln and gone by 10 p.m. Another one didn't even have the storms starting up for all of Nebraska until 10 p.m. and had them rolling through southeast Nebraska by like 4 o'clock in the morning. They were all over the place. All over the place. There was not one storm model that matched. It was, and I got the intern in here, and he's like, which model are you looking at? I'm like, I don't know. I'm looking at them all. So sometimes you just have to go with what you think is going to happen and hope that it's right. So this one feels like it could happen, because let's go back to the radar. Do I think they'll extend the watch? It's a possibility. I don't know if they're going to or not. It's certainly a possibility, though. Lucas thanks for the song. So that one model is basically saying this storm right here is eventually going to, and you can kind of see it now that I'm looking at it. Hang on. So you can kind of see this is kind of the boundary layer right there. So that may be the start of something. So this storm right here may extend along that line and pull south and east. Yeah, Mike. Yes, and sometimes it doesn't work out the way the model, if you pick a model and go with it, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. And it's very rare that a model is perfect. That's just not where we're at in this industry. We're a lot better than we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago. But it's still, there's so many moving parts to the atmosphere. Think of the ocean. It's basically the whole atmosphere is like the ocean. And trying to figure out where a whale is going to swim over the course of 24 hours, kind of hard to figure out. That's how figuring out a storm is. We're getting better, though. Will that storm pull that whole line south and east, or will that line stay stationary? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Tabor. Sorry. Millard area of Omaha hasn't seen any rain yet tonight. Feels like it's everywhere but here. I feel that. You have to believe it to see it. Tom, not sure what you're talking about there, but if you're talking about storms, I'm not sure. Yep. We'll see what happens. Problem with some of these models too is that they don't take into account some things that other models do, and one of them is severity of the cap or lack of instability or things like that. So the area between Grand Island, Hebron, Beatrice, and Lincoln has a lot of really warm air in the middle levels and upper levels of the atmosphere. So it's hard for storms to survive in that atmosphere. And some of these models just can't see that. So we'll see. Seeing the O'Neill storm go south and the Harlan storm moving north is so weird. 100% agree. 100% agree. But I'm keeping a close eye on that storm that's just north of Lincoln. It's severe. According to that model, it wants to pull southwest and form more southwest. So we'll see. Strong wind and heavy rain in Fremont. Thanks, Cindy. It's probably rolling through right now. Yep. The stronger part of that storm, though, is what am I thinking of? See, I used to go from Fremont to Wahoo on 77, but then now there's that. Yeah, I think I still do that. No, sometimes I go through Colon. I didn't even mean to say that, but it sure made myself laugh. How much rain is Lincoln going to get tonight? It depends if we see rain or not. I don't know. If we see the storms like models say, solid 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. But if we miss it, we miss it. Right now, these storms, I don't know what they're doing. And I don't think models know what they're doing. So there's no way for me to know right now, which is hard for me to admit, but it is what it is. It's a tiny little town. I don't know if you've ever been through there. It's right between Fremont and Wahoo. Been through it 1,000 times. It's just a tiny little town, just a farming community. Yeah, I mean, they could have picked a better name, but is there a tornado near Whitman? Oh yeah, look at that. Is this what you're talking about? Yeah, right there. Now these are hard because this is middle of, oh boy, that's right next to that radar. Okay. Yeah, that's a solid rotation just south of Whitman. Good call, Mike. Thanks. Right between Hyannis and Mullen. Highway 2. That would be a fun road to be on right now. Highway 2, watching that storm. But yeah, that's not really impacting very many people. Lightning. I haven't looked at the lightning. Oh, yeah. A lot of lightning out there. Good call, Steve. Mr. Tech, it took you an hour to mow, man. Get yourself a cold drink. You probably deserve it. Purple means confirmed. Yep, that was some pretty nasty rotation there. Best of luck, Rob. Watching. Are you really, Steve? That's so cool. Oh, all the lightning. Thought you meant the tornado warning. Sorry, I get confused. Tornado warning for Grant and Hooker County. Let's see. Hang on. Weather spotters confirmed a tornado. How is there a weather spotter by Hyannis? I can't see that far. Sorry, Steve. I mean, I guess that, I bet, if you're a rancher or a farmer in western Nebraska, just by proximity, you're a weather spotter. I mean, that's how I became what I am today. I live just north of Hyannis, like an hour north of Hyannis. That's where I grew up. So I get it. Exactly, Vest. That's how I got into this business. Was I didn't have anything else to do in Gordon. I just watched the weather and then became fascinated with it. That's exactly how I came to be. Yeah, that's a solid. Nope, wrong one. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, that's really good rotation right there. I'm gonna try. I doubt we'll see debris, but maybe. Oh yeah, look at that. Holy smokes, look at that, you guys. Hey, chat. That's debris. I don't know what it's picking up. Probably dirt, dust. But that is a solid debris ball right there. Hopefully that's not somebody's farmstead or a cow. Look at that, though. I haven't seen a good result like that in a really long time. Huh. That's crazy. Yeah, it's obviously on the ground. I bet that is picturesque. I would love to get to get a picture of that one. If anybody knows anybody in Whitman, give them a call. Picking up sandburrs. Tumbleweeds, probably. But that's pretty incredible. Look at that. Right there. Goodness. Yeah, a cow. Real life. Trust me, there's more cows out there than people. If we have time, Rob, sure. We've got tornadoes on the ground in western Nebraska right now to look at. That's good, Steve. That's really funny. We don't know if he's home. Look at that. I mean, look how pronounced that is. That's incredible. But you can really see where it's at. I mean, that's right there. There's not a whole lot out there. I mean, Google map that sometime. There's just not anything out there. I mean, there's people. I mean, there's the town of Hyannis, solid number of people out there. Really good golf course out there too. If you know, you know. Let's see. Could you show the model that gives the timing? We did that just a little bit ago. I'll try to do it again real quick. Let's see. This is a completely different model. Look at that. It has that cluster near Valentine. Remember I said all the models were disagreeing? I mean, this has storms in Lincoln, because it's 9 o'clock right now. And this kind of looks like what's going on. And it has that cluster just hightailing it across central Nebraska into I-80 by 1 o'clock in the morning. So is that real, chat? Is that real? I don't know. But this one has it rolling across Interstate 80 at 1 a.m. And then I think this is a different view. Nope, that's the last one we just looked at. So I'm going to look at a newer version. This is a newer version. Okay, has that same thing. Here's a same thing there. Okay, hang on a sec. This one's a little different. I mean, this one's completely different. This one doesn't even have the storms. I mean, this one doesn't even make sense. So let's look at this is a short-range NAM through about midnight. So just about all these models, while they're kind of all over the place, they do have storms rolling through Lincoln around midnight. And that's what I said earlier, that's from midnight to 1 a.m. is your best chance for the Lincoln area. And just about every model I've looked at lately continues to say that. Show that. 1 second, I want to look at this one. This one just doesn't have much. All right. Just a roar. Yeah, that usually means you have continuous ground, cloud to cloud lightning, Cindy. So you'll just have constant thunder. So anyway, back to that model, and hope Mr. Tech, hopefully that was helpful. When models don't agree like that, it's so hard to do a forecast. It's almost impossible to put a time frame on. Yeah, better refill my coffee, absolutely. I want to see if that debris ball is still there. Not anymore. Kind of. Maybe right in here. But that, boy, chat, if you were looking earlier, that was amazing, wasn't it? Mr. Tech, you're welcome. I think probably what's going to happen, it's 9 o'clock, so, I mean, I can't imagine that these storms, which are in Cherry County, which are 230 miles away, are going to be in the Lincoln area by 1 a.m. That's not real. You can't do that. But what I'm starting to see is this. See that? That's associated with a different frontal boundary. So we're starting to see more storms form. So that's probably what those models were coming up with, is that there's going to be something forming, like this, like along this line right here. And this is going to push like this and be in the Lincoln area by midnight. That makes sense. That I can see. Now that I'm starting to see that development. Severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Madison. What? Oh, different county, sorry. Something completely different. Let's see. It was in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, when the derecho. Yeah, that was rough, Travis. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Let's see. With all that high instability, and if we had a tornado parameter just as high, that would make for a crazy night. Yeah, you need a lot. It takes a lot to get a tornado set up to get one of those Arbor Day kind of outputs. Everything's got to be just right, and if just one thing is out of whack, it doesn't come together, and you'll have hail, you'll have damaging wind, and maybe an isolated tornado. But to have an outbreak like that, you need so many things in place at the same time. At least the sun is down. Hey, yeah, let's take a look at that. I bet that looks awesome. Hang on. I'm glad you said something. Let's take a look at all these cameras. Start with the Allo cam. Solid. Let's look at this one. So Arbor Day was a rare day then? Absolutely. Absolutely. You don't get outbreaks like that very often. It might be up if you want to come say hi. Sorry, my son's texting me. He's headed to bed. Honda of Lincoln. That's not as good as I was hoping. ABC Seamless, maybe? No. Clouds are on the wrong side. Bummer. All right. Well, we tried. What caused the tornado outbreak in Lincoln? That's a whole lot of stuff. I mean, you had just the and it started in Lincoln and moved. If you're talking about the Arbor Day thing, you had the right, all the right ingredients. You had the warm, moist air coming in from the south. You had a cold front that was rolling through. You had the instability was in place. You had a low-level jet that kicked in, and then that one storm just started forming southwest of Lincoln, and there was enough spin in the atmosphere. You had shear, so you had wind blowing in different directions at different levels, and it was just perfect. It was just a perfect setup. Quentin, thank you. Appreciate that. Omaha is showing a good-looking shelf cloud hanging over. I bet. I'm sure that that line right there it has to have a very cool-looking shelf cloud associated with it. Hopefully the storms continue to decline so you can go head home. I know. I already told Jessica I was going to text her at 11. She usually comes in, mid-morning, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to prepare for the morning show. But if she needs to come in sooner, she'll be here by 1. But I think probably what I'm going to do, because I have to get ready for the 10 o'clock, is I'm going to hang on for another 15 minutes or so. But I can see these storms starting to, look at that, they're starting to grow. So I'm probably going to have to let everybody go so I can get ready for the show. And then if storms are still going after the 10 o'clock show, I'll do another YouTube live stream. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, because we're kind of in a lull right now. Yeah, Mr. Tech, that's a good bet. But these storms right here, I think, is what we're what's eventually going to push through southeast Nebraska. And it looks like this storm is trying to catch up with it, which it might, and then pull south and east. And that's a fascinating storm over there. Boy, that was cool. About how much rain did the Omaha area get? They're about to get a lot more. I'm not sure how much they got, but they're about to get another probably half inch or so. Will the tornado threat die out further into the night? Usually that's what happens, but I mean, you're looking at one right here, tornado warning. But usually the tornado threat does decline, but it doesn't always go to zero. I mean, there's overnight tornado threats all the time. Moving south at 50 miles per hour. Yeah, it's booking it. You can tell that thing's moving. And it's headed right to North Platte, so they're probably watching that closely. Ashton, yes, we'll likely see more storms later on. There's another round headed our way. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes. I got to go grab something real quick. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. I'll answer them, and then I'll probably need to go to get ready for the show, and then we'll pop back on after the show if necessary. So I'll be right back. Okay. Continuous rolling thunder. Yeah, those are the best. I love those, especially when there's no severe weather damage. Tornado. God, that tornado warning is headed towards North Platte. I wonder if that's going to hold together into like Hayes, Frontier, Hitchcock, and Red Willow. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. Thanks for the heads up, Mike Bass. Wind and lightning have been pretty crazy in Elkhorn. There's a pretty good wind gust going through that area too. At least it's just a good old-fashioned thunderstorm is really all it is, with maybe some hail. But yeah, that's and then there's more storms forming just off to the west. Okay, kids, do you think the SPC will extend the Severe Thunderstorm Watch? Certainly a possibility. I mean, it goes until midnight though, so there's still 3 more hours. So they don't need to extend it yet, but if they need to push it further south, that's a whole nother thing. But right now, everything south of Interstate 80 doesn't look like it's an issue. So we'll see. Okay, I'm going to hop off, and I have some work I need to do to get ready for the 10 o'clock show on Channel 8, so you can watch me there. If things are still going after the 10 o'clock, make sure you click the little bell so you're notified, if you want to be notified, when I do another stream, a live stream. That way it's kind of your severe weather alert. That way you know. And so that's it. We'll talk again soon. Stay safe, everyone.